Hi there, my name is Richard from PassMyInterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to overcome interview nerves. A lot of you have been getting in touch with me on the channel and you are saying, Richard, I have a job interview coming up tomorrow. I am really nervous. How can I perform to the best of my abilities? Well, within this presentation, I'm going to give you 5 really important tips that will help bring your nerve levels down considerably and help you to perform to a really high level. So before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am on a mission to help as many of you as possible to pass your interviews, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, because that motivates me to create more content for you. Let's get straight into it, and I'm going to teach you how to overcome interview nerves. Tip number 1 for overcoming interview nerves is to stop treating it as an interview. Treat it as a meeting between you and a potential employer. Now, the word interview puts the fear into people. And believe it or not, it is you who is increasing your own interview nerves because of what's going on up here. We need to change your mindset. And one way we can do that is to start treating this as a meeting between you and a potential employer. Now, of course, for the rest of this tutorial, I will refer to it as an interview. But when you go away after you've stopped watching this tutorial, I want you to start treating it as a meeting, and that will help to calm your nerves. Now, whilst on nerves, of course, you need to have a little bit of nerves, because if you don't, you won't perform to the best of your ability. And also, I've been in interviews before where a candidate has been sat in front of me and they are a little bit too confident. They don't show any nerves whatsoever. And that can come across as a little bit arrogant, overconfident. I want to see somebody who is a little bit nervous, because it tells me that they care. So tip number 1 is start treating it as a meeting between you and a potential employer. And that will bring your nerves down considerably. Tip number 2 for overcoming interview nerves is to make sure you carry out some research into the company you are applying to join. Now, we know that one of the questions you are going to get asked is, tell me what you know about our company. And if you can't answer that question competently and confidently, you will not get hired. And all of these tips are designed to help boost your confidence. We want to decrease your nervousness levels, but we also want to increase your confidence. And the way we can do that is to make sure that you know a little bit about the company that you are applying to join. So we know they're going to say to you, tell me what you know about our company. So what you need to do is, number 1, go on their website, find out about their products and their services. What do they sell? What do they do? And also find out a little bit of historical information about the company. When did they start? Who owns the company and where do they operate from? And number 2, make sure you follow the company on social media. Have a look at their latest social media posts. What have they been posting about on Facebook, on Twitter? And also have a look to see if they have a LinkedIn corporate page. Because then you can say, I follow you on social media, and I noticed recently you've been carrying out the following things. That would tell me that you have an interest in my company and you have also carried out some research. So make sure, tip number 2 for reducing your interview nerves is to carry out some research, because then you can answer that question with confidence. Tip number 3 for overcoming interview nerves, and this is really important. This will help you to stand out from the other candidates. Make sure you download a copy of the job description. Read the job description and have a look at the key requirements of the role. Now, the job description is essentially the blueprint of what the hiring manager or the employer is looking for in the successful candidate. Now, the vast majority of people who attend interviews don't even know what the job description is, but you're going to be different, and again, this will help to boost your confidence levels. Get a copy of the job description and read it and have a look what they are looking for. Now, more often than not, they will be looking for certain skills such as team working, being able to work under pressure, being able to communicate effectively, and also being able to provide excellent customer service. So if you know what they are looking for, you can talk about the different skills you have that are a match for the job description. And also, be prepared for interview questions that focus on the job description. So if it says on the job description, the successful candidate will be required to deliver customer service to a certain standard, I can guarantee they will ask you the question, Tell me about a time when you provided excellent customer service. So downloading that job description enables you, it empowers you to think about the questions they are going to ask you during your interview. Tip number 4 for overcoming interview nerves. This is really important. We know the first interview question they are going to ask you at your interview is, tell me about yourself. So whether you have a face-to-face interview or you have an interview online, a virtual interview, the first question they will say is, tell me about yourself. Now, of course, it makes perfect sense for you to prepare an answer to that first interview question, because that then will give you the confidence for the rest of the interview. If you are stumbling when they say to you, tell me about yourself, this will increase your interview nerves. So my advice is to prepare a really good answer to the question, tell me about yourself, that you know off by heart, and it then sets you up with confidence for the rest of the interview. Now, a great format to follow, a great format to remember when you answer the question, tell me about yourself, is SEAT. S-E-A-T. And you can remember this format because when you go into your interview, you will be sitting in a seat. Remember S-E-A-T. And this gives you the things to talk about. S is for the skills that you have that are relevant to the role. E is for experience, previous work experience that you have that is applicable to the role. Now, if this is your first job, instead of talking about experience, you could talk about educational qualifications. A is achievements. What achievements have you gained in your life so far? And T is the type of person you are. Tell them you are the type of person who's going to come into this role and you are going to make a significant impact. You will act as a positive role model for their company and you're going to do a really good job. Now, if you want to find out a model answer to the interview question, tell me about yourself, click the link right now at the top of this video because I've created a brilliant answer that you are going to want to check out. Tip number 5 for overcoming interview nerves is to make sure that you have got some questions lined up to ask at the end of the interview. Now, this is where a lot of candidates let themselves down. We know that when you get to the end of the interviewer is going to say to you, that's the end of the interview, do you have any questions for us? Now, a lot of candidates say, it's okay, you answered everything for me, I have no questions. That is a mistake because this is your opportunity to further show that you are the right candidate for the job. So we have to ask smart questions. Now, I recommend you ask 3 or 4 questions that put you across in a positive light, and they are also focused on not you, but on the company. So let me now give you 4 really smart questions that you can ask at the end of your interview to impress the hiring manager. Question number 1. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to do a really good job in this position? So that's a really good question because it shows that you are wanting to do really well within the company, but you are asking them for advice. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to do a really good job in the position? That's a smart question to ask. Question number 2 of the questions to ask at the end of your interview. What's the culture like here within this company? So that's a smart question because you are trying to find out what the company's like to work for, and it enables the interviewer or the hiring manager to talk about their company, which is something they should love doing. Question number 3 of smart questions to ask at the end of your interview. What challenges are your company facing right now, and how can I help you overcome them in this role? That's a smart question because you are preparing yourself to be in the position, and every company has challenges, but you are asking what you can do to help overcome them. So it's a very smart question to ask. And question number 4, what would you need me to concentrate on in this role within the first 30 days of starting? Again, you are visualizing yourself in the role and you are getting them to visualize you in the role as well. And you are asking, what do you need me to concentrate on in the role within the first 30 days? So there's 4 really smart questions that you can pick from to ask within your interview. At the end, when they say to you, that's the end of the interview, do you have any questions for us? So there we have it. 5 really good tips to help you overcome interview nerves. And don't forget, being successful at an interview is all about preparation. So it doesn't matter whether you have an interview coming up tomorrow or within a few days, you can still carry out plenty of preparation. Number 1, don't forget, make sure that you start treating it from now on as a meeting. This is a meeting between you and a potential employer. Stop using that word interview because it puts fear into people, which is what it is designed to do. This is a meeting and you are preparing fully for it. Number 2, make sure you carry out some research. Don't forget to go on their website, find out a bit about the company, have a look at their social media pages, follow them on social media, and it gives you something to talk about when they say, tell me what you know about my company. Number 3, make sure you download that job description. This is your ticket to success. Download the job description, read it, and have a look at the essential criteria. What are you required to do in the role? And that will also give you a clue as to the type of questions they're going to ask you in your interview. Number 4, make sure you prepare your answer to the first interview question, tell me about yourself. Remember to use that format, SEAT. The skills and qualities you have, the experience or the educational qualifications, some significant achievements you have gained in your life or career so far, and T, the type of person you are, what you're going to do in the role if they choose to hire you. And then finally, make sure you have some questions prepared at the end of the interview to ask. So don't forget, make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red button below the video, because I am going to help you throughout your career to pass your interviews. I promise you that. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And if you have an interview coming up, tell me what questions you have in the comments section below, and I will give you some questions, interview questions, more questions to prepare for to help you pass your interview. I've been Richard McMunn, and thank you so much for watching this presentation. I wish you all the best for passing your meeting. Speak to you soon.